Hey everyone, today's video is another 5 for £5 on my DVDs, and for those of you who aren't familiar with this series, basically it's all about reviewing 5 DVDs that totaled £5 or under. You can either do it that the 5 in total came to £5 or less, or that each DVD itself had to be £1 or less. These were pretty cheap actually. One of them, in fact that one there is 25 pence, I think the most expensive one was 75 pence. So we'll start with one that I've actually just finished watching just now, and this is Last Chance Harvey, and this is Dustin Hoffman and Emma Thompson. Obviously slightly biased because I adore Emma Thompson more than life. Dustin Hoffman's good too. This isn't anything unique. It's a typical rom-com where we have boy meets girl and so forth. It was a little bit slow. It took about a third of the way in. It's an hour and a half, and it took about half an hour to get into it. But personally I think it was really nice. It's just one of those really lovely relaxing films where you want something enjoyable that's quite sweet, and Emma Thompson, basically massive attraction factor there for me. Yeah, I'd recommend it. Nothing particularly special, but it's nice. Aha, something completely different now. We have A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. I loved the first Nightmare on Elm Street film. I loved the remake. Really excited to see this. I will point out now that this is an 18, so if you think it sounds interesting, please bear that in mind. However, I didn't really think it felt like an 18. I didn't really think it was scary. Certainly not as scary as the first film or the remake. Freddy seems to have a lot more control over the human body now, and he kind of inhabits somebody else to do his killing. Basically it's just a revival of Freddy Krueger. If you're a Freddy Krueger fan, I think you'll enjoy it. You may think it's a bit peculiar if you've not seen any of the other films. It was good. Not as good as the first or the remake, but good enough that I'm now going to go and find a copy of the third film. Then we have Mr. Deeds, a comedy, so again something a little bit different. Really good. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. Winona Ryder and Adam Sandler. And basically this guy who doesn't really have a lot going for his life suddenly inherits billions and billions of dollars, and it's all about what's he going to do with that. And we have a kind of love trail going on here as well. Interesting, funny. I thought it was very funny. I wasn't expecting it to be as comedic as it was, so I would definitely recommend it. And I think the array of personalities and the array of characters we have really drives this forward. Plus Winona Ryder is awesome. Sticking with a similar theme for our second last one, we have Arthur, Russell Brand. And I know Russell Brand's very hit or miss with a lot of people. I never used to be bothered about him, and then I kind of started to quite enjoy his films. Rich boy suddenly finds himself in love with a woman, and he's getting to grips with how the real world works because he's had, you know, people to look after him all of his life, and suddenly that's no longer going to be the case and he has to try and cope. Again, a kind of traditional love story, nothing majorly fascinating there, but for me I think the character of Arthur really propels it forward, and I did enjoy it. Lastly, we have one that I wasn't really sure about, Shakespeare in Love. I've heard very mixed things about this. Some people love it, some people thought it was the worst thing in the world. Basically it's a film about Shakespeare and how he meets Viola, who I always call Viola, so if I do say Viola from now on, forgive me, and how she potentially inspired the story of Twelfth Night. So I thought that was interesting because I thoroughly love Twelfth Night. Twelfth Night is one of my favourite Shakespeare plays, and so from that aspect I could kind of see the elements that were being carried across to Twelfth Night. We also have the creation of Romeo and Juliet. So personally I thought it was interesting. Judi Dench as Queen Elizabeth, wonderful. Imelda Staunton kind of injects just that little bit of unexpected comedy into it. I thought that was very fascinating. So yes, and for 25 pence, as you can see there, it was a lot better than I expected, and I would recommend it, but I think you have to be a Shakespeare fan. 5 really enjoyable films. I very much enjoyed those ones, in fact. Any recommendations for future films that I should check out, let me know, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye!